5,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia, two great empires collided. The mighty Babylonians, led by the god King Nimrod, had conquered all. Only one city-state remained defiant, the land of Shinar with its towering capital Babel. Its ziggurats scraped the very heavens, a stairway to the gods. It was here that humanity would attempt the impossible. What if one tower could change the fate of humanity forever? The Tower of Babel, built by mankind to reach the heavens? But instead of glory, it brought only chaos. Language shattered, nations scattered. Was it divine punishment, or something even deeper? Some say the ruins are still buried beneath the sands of Iraq. Others believe we were never meant to finish it. This is the forgotten story of human ambition and its ultimate price. The year is 2000 BC. For decades, the great Babylonian Empire has enjoyed a golden age of peace and prosperity under the rule of King Hammurabi. Only one rival remains, the city of Babel. It clings to life in the shadow of the Great Ziggurat, a monumental stairway to the heavens. At its peak, 7 stories high, priests conducted arcane rituals and communed with gods. But the Babylonians have arrived to put an end to this rebellion once and for all. Led by their god king, Nimrod, they swarm over the city like a flood. And though the defenders fought bravely, there was no victory that day, only a Pyrrhic one. In the aftermath, Nimrod stood before the ziggurat, surveying his newly won domain. As the sun beat down on his shoulders, he felt like a god amongst men. Yet even as he reveled in his conquest, he knew that this victory would be his last. For on his way to Babel, he had received a divine revelation. A vision of a new empire, an empire that would stretch from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. An empire that would require more than just brute force to achieve. Nimrod called for his vizier, the wisest man in all of Babylon. He told him of his vision and asked him how to make it a reality. The vizier was a cunning man, but he also knew better than to question the will of the gods. He bowed before his king and said, "Great Nimrod, to fulfill your divine destiny, you must rule over more than just the land of the Babylonians. You must unite all mankind under one banner. Only then can you create an empire that will last for all eternity." And so Nimrod set about uniting the human race, subjugating all who opposed him, and granting autonomy to those who submitted willingly. But even as his empire grew, he knew that something was missing. He had wealth, power, and most importantly, order. But something still eluded his grasp. One day, while walking through the palace gardens, he sat down on a stone bench to rest. As he did, he noticed a young couple embracing on a nearby bridge. Their love for each other was so palpable that Nimrod couldn't help but smile. In that moment, he realized what he had been missing. He needed love, the love of his people. He summoned the vizier once more and told him of his new vision. The vizier listened patiently, then spoke. "My king, you wish to be loved by your people. That is an impossible task. For since the dawn of time, mankind has been divided into many nations, each speaking their own language, following their own customs and traditions. How can you possibly hope to unite them all?" Despite the vizier's protests, Nimrod was determined to succeed. He assembled the greatest architects, scholars, and artisans from across the known world and set them to work on a project that would become the crowning jewel of his empire, a monument to human ingenuity and a symbol of unity for all mankind, the Tower of Babel. But as the tower grew ever taller, reaching closer and closer to the heavens, the gods became jealous of mankind's hubris. On the day of its completion, they unleashed a terrible storm upon the city. Lightning cracked and thunder roared as the gods confused the languages of mankind. No longer able to understand one another, people panicked and fled. And thus, The mighty empire of Babel was scattered across the face of the earth. Some say that the ruins of the tower are still buried beneath the sands of Iraq. Others believe that we were never meant to finish it. But one thing is certain, the gods had a message for mankind. We were not meant to reach the heavens, but to remain in the garden that we had been given. Will humanity heed the message this time around, or will we once again attempt to reach the heavens? Only time will tell. In the beginning, there was only darkness. Then light appeared, and with it, the world began to form. Stars blazed into existence, galaxies spun into being. And on a tiny blue planet, life flickered to life. But something was missing. There was no one to witness the beauty of the world, to marvel at the stars. Then from the dust of the earth, they came, the first humans. They awoke in the garden, blissfully unaware of the chaos that surrounded them. The animals roamed free, the elements raged, and the world was in constant flux. But here in the garden, there was peace. And as the humans watched, something miraculous happened. The world began to order itself. The animals found their place in the ecosystem. The elements settled into their patterns. And the humans saw that it was good. They named the first human Adam and his wife, Eve. And so life began anew in the garden.